This is the vlog for January 9th, 2019, and it's still a little weird to see myself in the camera with the short hair now, especially given how big and bushy it makes my beard look by comparison. And oddly enough, my beard looks like it's got a little bit of an orange tint to it in this light, which I don't think it really shows up like that in real life. At least not in the mirror, not that I've noticed. I am getting very close to being done with my book. Well, I'm getting close to finishing the first draft. And this is the problem. This is sort of what I ran into with the first manuscript. Once I actually finished writing, wrote the ending, put the pen down, so to speak, just, stop typing, I was very pleased. I was very happy with myself. I had done what I'd set out to do. It felt great. And the next day, the daunting task of trying to trim it down, clean it up, and prepare it for publishing set in. And that was when I realized how big it was. I had not actually bothered to add up all of the word count in all of the chapters to see exactly how big it was. And when I finally did a word count of the compiled book in a document, in a Word document, that was when I found out it was 220,000 words. And a little bit after that, I found out how big 220,000 words was. I hadn't written Fellowship of the Ring, but I'd come close. Actually, I hadn't written Game of Thrones. I don't remember off the top of my head how long Fellowship of the Ring was. I'm going to check that right now. How many words is Fellowship of the Ring? And the answer is 177,000. So yeah, I actually did write bigger than Fellowship of the Ring. And it's not like I used all those extra words to really tell a much more meaningful story. I had sort of been padding myself just to make my NaNoWriMos, each individual part of the book, fit into NaNoWriMo. And I'd gotten into the habit of being far more verbose than was necessary. But at the same time, that I learned to identify that, and I haven't been doing that with this book at all. I've been going out of my way to trim words where I can, to shorten chapters where I could. And so now I have a much more succinct book, and I should be able to keep it under 80,000 words. As long as I can do the next 2 or 3 chapters. Let's see here. Yeah, as long as I only write 4,400 more words in the next 2 or 3 chapters, I'm solid. That's a lot harder than it sounds. That basically means writing 3 chapters at about 1,500 words a piece. I'm not sure I can do that. But we'll see. In fact, the last chapter I wrote was a little short, so maybe what I need to do is lengthen that one out a little bit so that I definitely only need to write 2 more chapters. And if I can keep those each under 2,000 words, then I'm probably home free. But there's also definitely some places in the book I could go a little bit lighter. Certainly during the sailing voyage from Peridot Sound to, or is it Peridot? I think it's Peridot. It's the green stone. Peridot Sound to Terraford. That's from my perspective. So from your perspective, if you were looking at a map of Daigaia, it would start about here and curve up around Tarasia to the north. Yes, I have thought about that. I know pretty well what Tarasia looks like in my head, although I've never actually drawn a complete map. I did an outline of the shape of the landmass. I should really, at some point, take the time to use some sort of map-making tool and make a real map of it. But the problem with that is I don't want to end up having to pay somebody a big licensing fee to use the map I generate in their software. These are the kinds of things I worry about. So I'm really sort of scared that once I do finish the manuscript, which I could do tomorrow, I probably wrote 5,000 words today. Once I finish the manuscript, that's not the end. It's not when I can just go start shopping it out. I need to add all the little touches that I already said. I need to do a pass and just read it from start to finish, which I haven't done yet, to see if anything feels really weird or off. And I know that fantasy novels can get, a little bit of leeway in their length because they're expected to be longer books. Even so, I want to keep it as short as possible. And I know trying to arbitrarily match it to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is silly, but it actually is just a very good benchmark. 75,000 words is a fine number for a first-time novelist. So that's what I'm thinking about these days. I haven't actually started applying for new jobs yet. Some of the jobs that I want to apply for may have non-compete agreements in their contracts that would prevent me from publishing a book. So ideally, I'd like to finish and publish before I sign on to a job like that. Because if I go into the interview and I find out that they have a non-compete clause in their contract, I've just wasted their time and my time. So for now, I'm packing up my stuff, getting ready to move. It's going to be sunny on this weekend. So Friday, I should be moving a whole bunch of stuff down to the storage unit. And by then, hopefully, I will also have the manuscript done and just be going through a pass, doing some editing, cleaning it up, looking for spelling errors and any sort of plot holes I might have accidentally left in. And then we'll see. I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.